Today, the 1st of August, is the birthday of Eirene Health Shop. And 20 years ago, my wife and I started this health store. Now, I made this short video with my family to give you a short overview of what happened in the last 20 years, what brought us to where we are today. So just a quick background, we ended up in this industry because my oldest son CJ got sick from a vaccination. After many failed attempts, the doctors couldn't help. We'd been to many doctors, many different pediatricians, and they didn't know what was wrong. In fact, the last doctor said to us, please go find out yourself what is wrong with your son. And that led us to a certain homeopath at the time, Dr. Robbie Simon, who from a medical perspective literally saved our son's life. And that was interesting because at the time I was a biomedical engineer and Lenny was a professional dietitian, and it was totally out of our box. And so this doctor had a radical, different way to help people and to help us heal. And so that interest that it sparked in me led me to start studying clinical nutrition. Something that is a great basis of knowledge and that later I would use quite a lot of. But it was only a basis. I learned that I had to then work through mountains of books and mountains of articles, and there were many people that mentored me in this new journey that we were on. So in the late 90s, Lenny and I received a prophetic word in the house of Janine. And that word was, in short, to teach and heal God's people. We soon discovered then that this path that we're on will definitely be full of obstacles. Number one, financially, it was extremely tough. And many people didn't think what we were doing was a good idea. In fact, they thought it was pure outright evil. To give you an example, at some point I discovered that our cell group from church started praying in front of our store for it to close because we had to be delivered from this evil. Laughable if you look at it from now, but back then, Lenny and I had to work through a lot of persecution, and that was really quite tough. So we endured because we thought that was still the calling on our lives. We then met Marty and Cedric van Heerden, and these people were like walking encyclopedias. They had a private library second to none. In fact, that library of theirs inspired me to start my own library, and that's what we've been doing, hundreds of books later. But they introduced me to the work of Dr. Peter de Adamo, which had at that time just written the first book called The Blood Type Diet, or Eat Right for Your Type. And it made a lot of sense to me, and I started investigating it. Now, 20 years later, Dr. de Adamo, who was laughed at in 2000 more or less when he wrote the book, or 98, when he wrote the first book, was laughed at for the fake science that he used. Now, 22 years now later, he rewrote the book. And that book is now, the first quarter of the book's almost full of the mainline science now. So that was quite inspiring. That was something that really put us on a different life path. But these people, Marty and Cedric van Heerden, they were also financial saviors to us. They introduced me to live blood analysis, and that revolutionized the way I could help clients. They sponsored me to do a course with Garth Kent on live blood analysis. And this really gave me a tool to help our clients in a better way. As the time passed, my knowledge base grew, and we decided that we also wanted a larger family. So Lenny decided that after our first two children, she was going to go all natural and have our children at home with a midwife. Now you must understand, for me, coming from a medical background, it was quite ludicrous, because I once thought that if you did not have a gynecologist present at your child's birth, you were simply stupid. Now to go home in a water birth and to have the children at home was quite a move. But that gave us a lot of information and knowledge that we could later help other mothers and other parents of children with. As our oldest child got sick from the vaccination, we had to work through a lot of information to find out why this happened and what happened. And subsequent to that, we decided that from Heidi, our second oldest, we would not vaccinate our children anymore. That was quite difficult and quite a tough decision. And it's a debate that we used to be involved in, so we no longer are. We decided not to vaccinate our children. And if you have an inclination for research like I do, and you do your own research, you will probably come to the same conclusion that it is quite dangerous for your children. But that was another turning point in our lives, and since then we were able to help a lot of people with autistic children and with vaccine damaged children. Now the other thing is, as our family grew larger, we have 8 children, and our knowledge base grew. And the reason that happened is because we basically tested everything on our children. They were our test subjects, and our methods and our philosophies grew. And actually that's still what happens to this day. We test everything. We don't just give it to you, our clients. We give it because we know it works. We've tested it in our channel, in our family. So when we advise to use something, we have used it on our own, and we speak from experience. In 2007, I produced a DVD series called Understanding the Health Puzzle, and that grew out of frustration that people didn't see the whole picture. And I produced a 6-part series that was aired on television, and it attempted to put together the different puzzle pieces. I always said each of my mentors had a certain piece of the puzzle, and many of them believed that was the puzzle. I thought differently. I thought if you put together these pieces of puzzles, you would get a better and a clearer picture and a better understanding of what would happen if you tried to help someone. Now, as the times progressed, online became more prevalent. Remember, we come from an old time when literally the internet didn't exist. So we started our online business. We started writing blogs. I don't know if somebody still does that today, but much of the information of what Lenny and I have learned is still being read today on our online blogs, and you can find a link from our website to go to the blogs. Now we are on all social media platforms to try and help people and to spread the good news. And the good news is this, that your body can heal itself given the correct building blocks. So, in conclusion, there are a few people that I would like to thank that made Eirene and us a success along the way. Some of the mentors that I had was Dr. Robbie Simon, like I mentioned in the beginning, a good friend, Dr. Fred van der Red, Dr. Charles Durant, Jeff Levine, Dr. Kevin Lenton, Dr. Robert Beast, Dr. Patrick Alford, Dr. Diadamo, the blood type man, and then lastly, Dr. Batman Galigi, or Dr. Batman for short, the water doctor. Many of you that have come to see me know there's one particular thing that I always advocate, and that is to drink water to clean out your body. Some individuals that had a profound effect on Eirene's journey, the one that actually started this was Mr. John Rauch. At the time, he was my bookkeeper, and he said we should open a health store. John has disappeared since. I don't know where he is. John, if you see this, thank you very much. Marty and Cedric van Heerden, they inspired us in so many different ways. And then there was a particular gentleman, Mr. Bruce Trethewey. Any of you know Leatherman Tools? Mr. Trethewey brought Leatherman Tools into South Africa. And what I know about retail, he basically taught me. Then there's a certain gentleman, Andre de Vries. He was the first gentleman that we helped to recover from cancer. An amazing man. He's still well today. He's in his 70s and he's still healed. Melisa Brink was the first woman that we helped to heal of cancer. That was quite tough because Melisa was young at this stage and it was tough for her mother. But they were inspiring. Both Andre and Melisa and the family went on to spread this good news of how to help people with cancer, and they've literally helped many hundreds, if not thousands of people. These are true heroes, and they are the people that make it on a daily basis. People similar to them make it worth our while to fight this good fight. It wouldn't be complete if I didn't thank our landlords, because without a good landlord, it is impossible for a small business to be successful. Our first landlord was Pine Pinaar, our second one Dries Neveling, and then Leendert Holst, and the current landlord where we are, Mr. Anton Mulder. What an absolute champion. In this very trying times with Corona, he has been a total lifesaver. Thank you all, gentlemen, for your support. Then there's our suppliers. As you can imagine, in the last 20 years, I've seen many suppliers come and go, many products come and go. On a daily basis, we get inundated with people that want to stock their products in our stores. But we've developed over the years a very strict regime of implementing new supplements and products. We look at many different things because we want the highest quality at the best price, and we don't want any nasties in products. So from that point of view, for our suppliers, it's quite difficult for them to stock their product with us. If they get through the first and the second line of defense, then we make a decision to stock or not to stock their products. But for those guys that have stuck with us, that have stayed with integrity, and that have over the years kept up the good quality, you are the true champions, and you are the people that we rely on to help our clients on a daily basis. And then lastly, our clients, you are the real heroes. You are the people that make us relevant. Without you, we have no business. We are irrelevant. We as a family want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for your continued and persevering support. Through thick and thin, you have been with us and continue to be with us. In this trying time of 2020, when we have this pandemic, we really encourage you to keep your health high. And I've made other videos to help you do that. I want to thank you all. And then what we want to do for you specifically is for the first week of August, from the 1st to the 7th of August, we want to offer you a 20% discount on our prime range chains remedies. So if you want to, you're welcome to come in and receive your free 20%. You don't have to buy a certain amount. On any amount that you buy, you get 20% discount, but on the chains remedies, that is. Then there are my children, my test subjects. All our many experiments that we performed on you. You are heroes to help us help our clients on a daily basis. You give us the validity when we help clients. Special thank you to CJ for being the front runner in this. If it wasn't what happened to him, well, we probably still would have been in engineering for some reason. And then maybe someday some of our children, one or maybe none, want to continue the legacy of what we're doing. And that's fine. Each has his own life and her own life, and we encourage them to do that. And then no business can be without a boss, a financial manager, a strategist, an encourager, and a companion. And that one is called wife. Lenny, my wife. Without her, it most definitely would have been absolutely impossible to do this. Through the thick and thin, she has stood with me, encouraged me, given advice, reprimanded me, helped me to help clients in a way, help many mothers. And I want to thank you very much for that, my love. Lastly, I want to honor the Lord Jesus Christ for his patience with me, his endurance, and his continued revelation. Quite often, I don't know what to do when a very difficult case is in front of me. And then that is when the Holy Spirit reveals that little bit of information that puts you on the right track to help people. And our name, Eirene, is actually pronounced Eirene, and that is the Greek word for peace. It means not just the existence of peace or the absence of strife. It means the Prince of Peace, and that is the center of our business. So when you visit our family health practice, know this: the advice we give you every day comes from personal experience, and we don't advise what doesn't work for us, and we at all times try and give you the information to the best of our knowledge and the best of our experience. And we thank you all, and please celebrate this month with us of our 20th year of existence.